Hi all and welcome to the December monthly wrap-up here at Veritas. My name's Oliver Brett and today I'll be unpacking December, which was all around mental health during the Christmas period. We've heard a lot over the years about how Christmas can be a great time for people coming together, people feeling good, people taking a relax from a big year, but for other people it can be quite a stressful time for a variety of different reasons. Maybe they don't have much family, maybe there's extra pressure at work during this time, or maybe they don't have good relationships with family that they'll be spending time with. There's a variety of different ways that Christmas can present to us and the opportunities it shows, and we looked at this in December as we unpacked it through a variety of podcasts and blogs. So, thank you very much for sending in your questions around the monthly topic. Today we'll be unpacking 3 of those questions to help give you some more insights. So the first was around anxiety, in which people were asking, I feel a lot of anxiety around Christmas. How can I manage this? So anxiety during the Christmas period can, as I just mentioned, be for a variety of reasons. I suppose really if you're wanting to approach Christmas in a different way, if you're wanting to approach Christmas differently this year, whereby you're focusing on the positives that it can bring or the good times rather than the anxiousness or bad times, my number one tip there would be really setting an intent for your focus. What are you going to be focusing on this year? Are you going to focus on the elements of Christmas that bring you stress and anxiety? Or are you going to focus on the elements of Christmas that are joyful, the parts that you enjoy? So really, if it's thinking about sort of all the travel you have to do that promotes anxiousness, then I'd be leading you to try and spend more time, say, focusing on the time with family or friends that you get. The version of you that spends more time focusing and using the time of friends and family as a grounding point will likely transition and experience the Christmas period far less anxious, with far less anxiety, than the individual that's ruminating and allowing yourself to focus only on, say, all the travel you've got to do and the driving you've got to do. I made a little example up there on the spot, but hopefully you can sort of overlay that with your personal experience and your personal situation as well. So summing that up, really coming back to what is the part of Christmas that brings me anxiety? What are the positives about Christmas that I do enjoy or can enjoy? And making sure that you're mentally preparing yourself to use that positivity, that positive aspect as your foundation, as where you live mentally during that period as well. And each time that you do think about the anxiety provoking parts, that's fine, that's cool. Gently bring yourself back to reaffirming, refocusing on the positives that you do have. Another little tip that I would suggest is practicing gratefulness during this period as well. So we can spend a lot of times focusing on the pressures, on the not disappointments, I suppose, but say the pressures or the hard parts of Christmas. If we just allow ourselves to think about those all the time, we're going to naturally onboard a negative attitude around this period. So make sure you start each day practicing the 3 things that you're grateful for and why. That can be a really good way in starting to try and get a positive mindset and positive attitude around Christmas that's got a lot less anxiety related to it. The second question we had was around family and Christmas, and in particular how being around family so much can cause a lot of stress for people. So yes, absolutely. There's a lot of relationships that come with family. Family, we can have very different types of relationship as well. Friends are generally, as the old saying goes, are people that we select to have in our lives, where family can be the people that we're obviously born with or born into, which can mean that we may be spending time and relating with people that we don't naturally get along with or that we don't naturally see eye to eye with a lot of different areas. What I'd be suggesting that if spending time with family causes you a significant amount of stress, 2 main topics or 2 main strategies. One would be making sure that you're pre-planning little intermittent breaks that you can have where you've either got time by yourself or time with friends as well. It doesn't have to be huge periods. Maybe it's making sure you go for a walk by yourself for 30 minutes each morning. Maybe a little plan about what you do early afternoon or around lunch to give yourself some time to relax and recenter and have some time away from the hustle and bustle, and maybe at night as well, making sure that maybe before you go into your room and just going straight to sleep, maybe you have some time to sit and think and engage in some activities that is just for you, just what you're doing by yourself, whether that be maybe social media scrolling, if that doesn't cause you too much anxiety in other areas, or maybe reading a book, or just something that's on your own time, at your own pace, and something that is of meaning and purpose to yourself as well. So although you might have a lot of family commitments during this period, making sure you're still proactively planning and carving out periods to spend time by yourself, or time in those activities that help you to regenerate your energy. Secondly, as well, is probably more on the fact that obviously with family being people that we may not necessarily select to have in our lives, but we have in our lives from that family perspective, I would be making sure that you understand and acknowledge that there's an aspect of where we can focus on what we don't relate to, or where we don't see eye to eye on certain topics with family, or things that we don't like about certain family members. And then there's also things that we would like. And no matter who we have in our family, who they are, what they're on about, their values, etc., I'm sure that if you think long and hard enough, you might be able to find one or two things about each family member that you can discuss with in a way that doesn't bring up too much stress, that doesn't have too much of a difference of opinion or create some sort of tension. It might be quite trivial things. Look, honestly, focus on making them the center of your discussion with those family members, and you might find that the stress and tension lowers because you're keeping things on an area that you do see eye to eye with, that you do have shared values on. It will obviously be trickier to do that with some family members than others, but honestly, if you do feel some stress around family members, try and go in with a pre-plan about what topics might be good for you to discuss that aren't going to bring up tensions, and then also making sure throughout your day that you're planning some periods where you're spending time by yourself at your own pace, doing some things that are for yourself, self-energizing, self-fulfilling as well. Now, the final question that we had is actually for the period after Christmas. It's around New Year's resolutions, and that age-old saying, or that age-old concern that, we set New Year's resolutions and by halfway through January they've been forgotten or they've been broken. So how can we give ourselves the best possibility for success in regards to setting New Year's resolutions that are successful and that we stick to? What I'd be suggesting first off, is don't start trying to think about your New Year's resolutions on New Year's Eve. In setting a change in our life, we've always got to consider, and we need the time to consider, what that cost of change is going to be. Just saying we want to get fitter, just saying we want to lose weight, just saying we want to read more books is all well and good. But if it was that easy, we would have already done it. There's something in our routine, there's something in our habits, there's something we gain from living the current lifestyle that we have, and you're going to have to give that up in order to create that change that you're thinking about and considering making. So leaving that to the last minute is not giving yourself enough time to truly consider what this change is going to mean to you. Where is this change going to fit into your daily schedule? What are going to be some of the urges or drawbacks to your old habits that are going to be present, and what it might mean on other components of your lifestyle as well. So, cutting out alcohol could cost you social engagements. Without allowing yourself enough time to consider all those costs, you're not setting yourself up for success. You're only focusing about the good times. You're only focusing about the outcomes, the positivity, the glitz and glamour, not the hard work that's involved. So consider early. Then consider all the costs it's going to take to make this change, and consider what other challenges are going to come across as well, so you can pre-plan how you might navigate them. So things like exercise, for example, if you want to lose weight, when is truly going to be the best time to fit exercise into your daily schedule to give yourself an opportunity to be successful. Just saying we're going to exercise more is not a detailed enough plan to turn that into a robust resolution. And that leads me into my other point, is not just making the resolution, I'm going to lose weight. Have a plan on how you're actually going to do that, because that again is going to link all those components up: where I want to go to, what I want to do to achieve it, and what it's going to cost me to get there. And if you can link all those components up, what it's going to cost me, how I'm going to do it, what my goal is. It'll help you to set realistic resolutions, ones that you're truly aligned to, ones that you recognize are going to cost and be hard to get there, so you can be prepared for that. So on the 1st or 2nd or 3rd of January, when you get stuck into this resolution, you're not hit with this wave of realization about how hard it is to actually find time to exercise in your lifestyle, how hard it is to reduce alcohol intake when we've got so many social engagements, particularly at the beginning of the year. It just helps you to pre-plan and execute an action plan there as well. So thank you very much for listening. That was the December wrap up. I look forward to coming back and talking to you again in January. Until then, I hope you, your friends and family and colleagues have a great and restful holiday period. It's been a big year here at Veritas. It's been an exciting year, and we've got a lot more great plans in store for you all in 2023, and I look forward to uncovering them and disclosing them and discussing them with you as we enter the new year. So until then, have a great one, and we'll speak to you next year. Thank you.